Patagonia, found at the bottom of South America, is a vast area that Argentina and Chile both share. It's full of different kinds of landscapes, like mountains, deserts, grasslands, and coastal areas by the Pacific Ocean. People love visiting Patagonia because of its breathtaking views and special animals. It's a top spot for adventurers, nature lovers, and anyone who wants to experience its wild and untouched nature. The mighty Andes. The Andes are like a giant mountain wall along the edge of South America, kind of like the backbone for Patagonia. Imagine the ground is made of giant puzzle pieces that move very slowly. Millions of years ago, two of these pieces crashed into each other, pushing up the Andes Mountains. The Andes are like weather superheroes. They block wet winds from the ocean, making the west side of the mountains wet and green with forests. But the east side, because of the mountains' block of the rain, it turns into a dry land with plains and grasslands almost like a desert. The Andes are more than just mountains though, who made incredible valleys, glaciers, giant rivers of ice, and super tall peaks like Aconcagua, the highest mountain in the Americas. Powerful rivers carve through the mountains, showing off the insides of the earth. Even though it's cold and windy high up in the Andes, animals like the pudu, the world's smallest deer, find ways to live here. You might also see giant Andean condors flying with the wings as wide as 10 feet. Deserts and steppes. Imagine a desert unlike any other. Patagonia has a cool desert, not scorching hot like some you might know. Why is it so dry? Remember the giant wall-like Andes mountains? They block wet winds, leaving the east side thirsty for rain. Another culprit? The Chile Falkland Current, a cold ocean stream that keeps the air extra cold, preventing rain. So what does this cool desert look like? Picture endless plains of gravel called pampas, blown by wind into strange shapes like giant rock art. Plants here are tough survivors, like short cacti and strong shrubs, with roots digging shallow for any moisture they can find. But wait, hidden gems dot the dry plains. Freshwater lakes and rivers called oases. These are lifesavers for plants and animals. Melting glaciers in the Andes fill them up, making them like mini watering holes in the desert. Imagine pink flamingos relaxing in the shallows, or graceful guanacos, like small llamas, munching on plants by the shore. Oases prove that even in super dry places, life can still thrive. As you travel further from the Andes, the desert slowly turns into a giant grassy area called the Patagonia Steppes. Think of it like a grassy bridge between the dry west and the eastern mountains. Here, tougher grasses and bushes rule the landscape, swaying in the wind. These steppes are super important for herds of grazing animals, both sheep and wild plant eaters. The Patagonian Lakes. Patagonia is sprinkled with amazing lakes, like sparkling jewels all over the landscape. These giant pools of water weren't always there. Millions of years ago, giant glaciers like slow-moving rivers of ice carved huge valleys in the land. When the weather warmed up, the glaciers melted and filled those valleys with water, creating the lakes we see today. Patagonia's lakes come in all shapes and sizes. There are glacial lakes, left behind by retreating glaciers, with a dazzling tortoise color and surrounded by mountains. High up in the Andes, there are tiny alpine lakes nestled between the peaks. Down in the grassland, there are shallow steppe lakes, fed by rivers. These lakes are vital for life in Patagonia. They are like giant water tanks for animals and people. Fish fill the waters, birds hang out on the shores, and all sorts of creatures, from tiny bugs to ducks and geese, call the lakes home. But Patagonia's lakes are also playgrounds for adventure. Imagine kayaking across the crystal clear water surrounded by mountains. Or maybe you'd like to try to catch a trout in the hidden alpine lake. Many lakes even have boat tours so you can get close to look at these freshwater wonders. The Pacific Coast. Patagonia's western coast is a dramatic meeting point between the Pacific Ocean and the land. Imagine towering cliffs plundering into the churning sea, the coastline twisting like a maze filled with hidden islands and amazing fjords. Fjords are U-shaped valleys carved by glaciers millions of years ago. These icy giants scrapped and dug out the land as they flowed towards the ocean, leaving behind these dramatic inlets. The scene is like a postcard come to life. Crystal clear water reflects snow-capped mountains. The nutrient-rich Pacific Ocean makes it a feeding ground for whales, dolphins, and sea lions. Whales leap out of the water with loud splashes, dolphins weave through the waves, and sea lions bark from their rocky homes. Underneath the surface, countless fish fill the vibrant marine ecosystem. The maze-like coastline shelters a bunch of cool islands, like Tierra del Fuego. This island is where Patagonian plants and animals mingle with those from even further south. Each island has its own unique ecosystem, sometimes with animals you won't find anywhere else. Flora and fauna. Patagonia is not just a feast for the eyes with its stunning landscapes. It's also a haven for diverse and fascinating wildlife. From the mighty Andes to the rugged coastlines, let's delve into the rich tapestry of flora and fauna that call this region home. In the shadow of the Andes, lush forests thrive, providing shelter for a myriad of species. Here, you might encounter elusive creatures like the Andean mountain cat, known for its solitary nature and remarkable agility. Among the trees, the endangered huemul deer gracefully roam, their antlers a symbol of Patagonia's wild beauty. Venture into the desert and steppes, and you'll discover a world of resilience. In the arid expanses, guanacos, cousins of the llama, traverse the plains in graceful strides, while cunning foxes prowl in search of prey. Keep an eye out for the nyandu, a large flightless bird that dashes across the landscape like a living relic of prehistoric times. The lakes of Patagonia teem with life, from the rainbow trout darting through the crystal clear waters to the majestic Andean condors soaring overhead. Along the shores, colonies of penguins gather, their comical waddles contrasting with the serene beauty of the surroundings. As you navigate the fjords and coastlines, be prepared to encounter a spectacle of marine marvels. Pods of orcas patrol the waters, their sleek black forms a testament to nature's power and grace. Seals bask lazily on rock outcrops, while seabirds swoop and dive in a frenzied ballet of flight. We've zoomed through Patagonia's amazing geography. Let's rewind and see everything we explored. Firstly, we met the enormous Andes Mountains, giants formed by shifting tectonic plates. We then crossed into the wild Patagonian desert, a land shaped by rain shadows and cold currents. Next, we were awestruck by the sparkling network of lakes, carved by glaciers long ago. Finally, we reached the dramatic Pacific coast, sculpted by glaciers and tectonic forces. Each place makes Patagonia unique, from towering mountains to vast plains. Everything works together to create this one-of-a-kind spot on Earth. Tempted to explore Patagonia yourself? We understand. With mountain climbing, lake kayaking, and whale watching, Patagonia offers something for everyone. Thanks for joining us on this adventure. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more cool content.